Zisteau Plays Minecraft, episode number 59, I think. Welcome back, everybody. Little sheep took a plunge. Oh, I was gonna try to shoot you, sheep, but you ran away. He must be a psychic sheep. He anticipated my shot. So I'm up here looking at the base. There's a really cool geometrical thing going on, which I really like. It's like looking at an MC Escher painting, I guess, a little bit, with the staircases wrapping all... Oh, God! With the staircases wrapping around, all that kind of stuff. And I would like that kind of thing to be more or less everywhere within the base. It needs to extend downwards. Below here, I started doing the winding path that's very random and chaotic, and it leads to different things, and I like that too. I want to have both. And this is supposed to look like one big giant base, which is the base of a tower, which one day, once we can build up there, can go way up into the sky. And I think we need to work on that a little bit. I started sketching a little bit, because right now all we've done is excavated a mountain. We've got this thing, but I think we need some stuff actually touching the grassy circular area we excavated, just to sort of tie everything together, and we need to extend this kind of stuff down into the mountain. So I want to work on that a little bit, but first, we've been spending a whole bunch of time, the last several episodes, in the base, not really exploring much, or leaving this little area. And we live in a game. I'm playing a game that has infinitely randomized terrain generation, and I specifically picked this world because of all the cool terrain. So I thought we'd do a brief recap of what we've built. I'll do like a little world tour kind of thing, and I'll speed up the walking in between areas, so hopefully it won't take that long either. I know that when I've downloaded other people's maps, other Let's Players, for instance, and I want to get to something they've made, it's kind of hard for me to find, because watching a video and playing within a world, it's quite different, because usually you see them in one area, and then maybe they'll cut to another area. You don't know how to get from A to B. But anyway, so that's what we'll do. So this is the Alpha Valley. This is Alpha 1.1 terrain, and that tower is the center of the Alpha terrain. It extends for, I think, 32 chunks in every direction. Or is it 16? I think this is every 4. I think it's 16 chunks, something like that. And then there's a border, and beyond the border is the beta terrain. And there's an aqueduct leading out in all 4 directions. And the aqueduct also borders, you can see the aqueduct border there, on the edge of the terrain. So there's a path here. And this is the watery side of the map. Over there is the lava side of the map. This has become kind of like a wetlands area. Up there is the portal, which we fortuitously had made just before the apocalypse of 1.1. Really saved our bacon there. Oh man, the jokes. The jokes. Over there is the Patch Museum. This is really some of the coolest terrain, I think, ever in Minecraft. And this lava thing, by the way, this lava column, I think we need more of that in the base. I haven't even made anything like that. We need to try something like that today. Maybe in our efforts to tie together the geometrical stuff with the chaotic stuff, we need a big, crazy lava column surrounded by glass. Over here, some cool terrain, which we have done nothing with. There's all kinds of cool terrain, which is part of the thing I want to look at, is some of the cool terrain, and try to think of ideas for projects. There's a really cool terrain here, and I have no idea what to do with it. Over there is a cave, which we fell down into during the, during the flood of 2.4. Very tragic, and I don't like to go over there. In fact, I have not been back over there ever since that happened. Yeah, let's not just visit. Let's not go over there. We don't need to. This is the rift, which is the base I built when we thought we were stranded and the 1.1, Alpha 1.1 terrain was destroyed. It's sort of designed to look like it's living with the trees kind of growing out of the wall. I really like this base. It was pretty cool. Then over here is the Piggy Temple. This is, of course, a recreation of one of the first things I built in Minecraft once the Nether expansion came out. I needed somewhere to put a portal. So this is what I did. It's a giant temple devoted to worshiping pigkind, and I'm remembering that I still haven't built the stupid dock. There's supposed to be docks here to dock your boat. and I haven't built them yet. That's an oversight. So here's Survival Island sitting out here in the water on the wetland side of the map, just into the beta terrain. It's been sitting here for a while. I remember we fled here during the drought of 3.9 and ended up fleeing to a different world, which I guess we'll go visit that later. Over there is the big strange formation we found ourselves on after the cataclysm of 4.7. The world was shattered, and I think it somehow healed itself. I guess we can swim up here to get back into the alpha terrain. And yeah, we woke up over there. Haven't really explored over there. That is some really cool terrain, though. I wanted to walk around the alpha terrain because there's a lot of cool terrain here that we just never look at. And I was thinking maybe to get us out of the mountain more often, we could have a few extra projects outside of the mountain just to change things up. Like right here, check out this cool cave. There's just a cool cave sitting there. If you have ideas for projects, leave them in the comments. There's not too many things we can automate until we get pistons, but we can definitely make some more farms. We've made the tree farm that we're working on, but really it's only going to hold 8 spruce and 8 birch trees, so we might make a bulk spruce and a bulk birch farm somewhere else that's a little bit less detail intensive, more about just like planting a whole bunch of trees. We would need I guess a bigger area for that. Got a cool overhang thing going on there. These things are still here. These are the original markers I used to find my way around back when we first started, and there was no coordinate system, so you had to actually use landmarks, and this was one of the best ways to do it. This was my sign telling me which direction to go to the base valley before we stumbled across the name Alpha Valley, and that just sort of stuck as a cool name for the area. And let's see, there's a spot which I've been wanting to put a village, or thinking about putting, yeah, right here. Okay, so here's this little box canyon thing. I think we're going to put a village in here once we get villagers at some point in the future. Does this not just look like a cool little area to put a bunch of villagers? It would be easy to wall it off and make sure it's lit up so that monsters can't get in there. We could put a whole bunch of golems down there. That's the official place for our village once we get villagers. Okay, so over here, we are quite close to the aqueduct and the Patch Museum. You can see the aqueduct right there, so the Patch Museum is right underneath there. In fact, we saw this view when we were shifting through time, when the space-time continuum got all wibbly-wobbly, spacey, timey-wimey, and unstable. So we've seen that kind of stuff over there a lot. What's over here? We haven't seen much at all. And there's really cool terrain over here. We need to do something with all this stuff. There's really cool, this is actually the first thing I saw when I was exploring the terrain in Alpha 1.1. I saw this. I was like, oh, this seed's pretty cool. Let me look around some more. And I ended up finding what's over there, which is where we centered our base. But there's this cool mountain thing there. There's all this mountainy stuff. And there's so much mountainy stuff here. We've got all kinds of space underneath here to build stuff. Not to mention stuff on top of things, but all kinds of space underneath there that we've never even explored. And there's some cool, look at this, just like weird floating terrain and weird just layers of floating. I guess it's not really floating, but there's a lot of overhangs and whatnot right there. We could also put another base there. I don't even know what to build. We could even put like another village up there. They could be living on the mountain. This could be like the inverse box canyon, because this is actually pretty similar in size. Maybe we should try to make some sort of inverse here of what we do there. Would I need 2 villages? I don't know why I would need 2 villages, except for it would be fun to build. Yeah, we need something on top of there. I've always seen these photos of, this old monastery or temple or something on the top of some land formation in Greece, or in the crazy terrain in northern China, that kind of stuff, where the land has just been eroded away so much and they built something on top of something crazy just to do it. So this is the south side of the map. Sun's about to set again. I did bring along a bed because I anticipated this. This area is quite flat. It's full of chickens, which we must exterminate. There's not a lot going on here. If we did do like just a boring bulk tree farm, I guess it wouldn't be hard to do it here. I do have an idea for a wheat farm. I was going to put a wheat farm in one of these cool landscapey things we found, but I got a cool idea for that, which I think I'm going to do, and we'll talk about that a little later. But yeah, mostly flat over here, not too much going on in comparison to the other areas. Alright, so here is beta terrain again. There's a big desert here. We do have a desert expansion where we've been getting all of our sand for glass. This is not that. We would have to take the nether, we'd have to go through the nether to get there because it's quite far away, and I didn't want to just bulldoze the only desert we have nearby. But there's a desert. There's the Sea of Flame. There's a whole bunch of lava. There's like a lava sea. I don't even know where this lava came from, but it's here. And this is on the fire side of the map. The Sea of Flame are, you know, the fire lands. I guess we're going to call them wetlands and firelands. The firelands are right there. In fact, I've finished the path, even though I think I'm going to edit it a little bit. So we walked over here, I think last episode or the episode before, and we saw the Sea of Flame and whatnot, and we marked out where we wanted to put the path. I've built the path, although I think we're going to change it a little bit, and I'll show you what I ended up doing. I ended up doing something different than what I talked about in that video. I was thinking of going over the mountain in that video, but then once I compared the coordinates from here to just on the other side of there, I realized it wasn't very far, and this was much more direct. It just made more sense to put a little tunnel through the mountain. The thing I'm going to change, though, is I think this path is too straight. Looking at the one over in the wetlands, what makes that one cool is that it doesn't just hug the land, it follows the course of the waterfront. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete this part, just this part right here. I'm going to have it curve and follow the lava. And I'll have to move these trees a little bit. But it's going to come basically right here, curve through there, and then connect back up. And it's going to have to go around that lava pool. But there we go. Okay, so there's your little tour. Hopefully you kind of understand. We did basically a whole circle. Hopefully it makes sense spatially to you where things are. We haven't built that many different things. We spent most of our time in the mountain or in different worlds, I guess. Well, there we go. I've also done some work on the farm. So we'll go over that very briefly, and then we'll work on what we talked about at the very beginning. Cool terrain there. Also, overhang stuff. Love it. Okay. So I've built, last time I think I had just built one of these panels. I got 4 now, and this one has water behind it. I've decided that the water is not as good as the wood one. Or I don't think it adds enough to warrant its inclusion there. We're going to add some water to this area, but it's going to be more visible to take the place of some of this stone. We'll talk about that. I think maybe at another time, maybe next episode we'll get into that. We're going to have to blow some more stuff up. I'm going to have to get some more TNT. So I built it up here as well, and I discovered something pretty cool. I came really close to the edge of the mountain. Look how close we came excavating this. This is the natural formation of the mountain. This little hole was here. So to cover this up, all I have to do is put 6 smooth stone up, and we came up right to the edge of the mountain. That's pretty cool. In fact, I think I'm going to keep this as a little secret door. I like the idea of having like a secret escape exit in case of trouble. And we could, I don't know what we would build here, but it's just kind of a neat idea. I might put a door there so it's harder to see, and I might restore the slabs. So you'd have to break them to get out. But I thought I'd show that off. I did encounter some problems. That's why I wanted to build things one at a time and then make decisions from there. So the trees have grown. The roof is too high here. We're going to have to lower it down. We're getting the big trees, which is not what we want. But the panels, I think, look fine. The problem is that this arch thing we're doing is way too big because we're changing heights. This arch here, it's just a giant wall of cobblestone, which is no bueno. So what we're going to do for the next time I work on it, we're going to make the arch a little bit more vertical and get rid of this middle part so that there's continual cave along the roof and not this giant cobblestone wall thing here in the middle. Anyway, okay, so that's the recap. That's the world tour. Let's get to work building. All right, so a little bit of time has passed. I've done some work basically doing sketches. And when I say sketch, I mean I put down a few cobblestone, and then I break a few cobblestone, and I put a few other cobblestone somewhere else, and I keep doing that, just kind of fiddling with stuff, trying to see something that works right. So I made this circle up here, and then I decided it was too high on this side, because I want this thing protruding out, and I do want it to look like it's floating, because it is. So we lowered that one, raised that one, and start to create a shape. Create this little zigzag thing down here, so these guys will eventually maybe get connected somehow. This will be like some kind of, I don't know, the tower thingy. Gonna be there and there. We are on a hill, though, that is not flat. So I have to take that into account. Am I gonna dig that side of the hill down, or are we just gonna embed it in that side? These are questions that I don't know the answer to, but I'm just kind of fiddling. That's what I'm doing. So that's one thing I did. Another thing is I started making these things over there. I made it out of cobblestone because stone slabs, really big sheep, seriously. Interrupting me, so rude. Slabs, so much of a pain in the butt to build with, because if you want them to have gaps in between them, like so, you gotta build from the top down. If you want them to be solid like that, you have to build from the bottom up, because if you try to do it the other way, like if I want to build them with gaps and I go up, and I look, I'm clearly highlighting this block. Nope, yeah, you can't do that. So you just get a solid wall if you go from the bottom up, but if you go from the top down, it works. But if you, so let's say we do this, and then we do that, we can't place a block there, and I can't place a block there. So it's kind of tricky. You kind of have to know what shape you want. Otherwise, it's a lot of back and forth. So it's a lot easier to do it out of cobblestone because I can just use the full block instead of 2 slabs when I want to. Oh, good. That was a full block. Don't have to mess with that. So I started making these things over here. One thing I don't want to do, I don't want this level to be totally solid. I want you to be able to see through it. So what I'm thinking, we've got these paths here which have no purpose. Originally, this was going to be storage. I was going to put my chests up here. That's why there's a staircase. There was going to be storage on either side, or maybe furnaces over there. I decided not to do it because it didn't look good. I just kept the paths. I think what we may do, we might use the cobblestone and the stairs as kind of like a detail block, and use the slabs as a kind of like a more like concrete or something you make a big thing out of, you know? Something you would pour in one big shape, a monolithic thing, and then use those as a detail and occasionally smooth stone until we get bricks and like stained clay and all that kind of stuff. So that's idea number 1. Gotta start working on this and taking out some of these paths, doing that kind of thing. That's one thing. Here, let me find my ladder's right over here. We can go down a little bit. So I've been trying to find the logic. All that water stuff is on a grid, more or less. It's got a logic. It's square, more or less. And I recreated it down there just so I could see, sort of like looking up and down. We can start to connect the two. And then these crazy paths can also wind in the middle. We need to have a plan, but we need the crazy. We need both. It's kind of like oh God! It's like a metaphor for me. in like the videos I do. You need the long-term planning to like pay off and pull off the crazy. So, okay, so what I want to do, I want to create a lava column like we have in the Patch Museum, and I think we might even start to use some of that build style. So eventually, like this base and the Patch Museum will be one continuous system of stuff. Let's take a visit over there. I have quite a bit of glass already smelted up. This is what I'm talking about right here. This extends down through the mountain, and that's what you can see. Oh, you can burn yourself too if you stand too close to the corner. There's the water down there. You can see it from there. It's very striking, but it has a logic to it. The path wraps around it. Did I put another one? Yeah, there's another one there where the path bends again. So we need to kind of think about the angles, the lines, how things work. But I think we can do that. I think we can do things like this with these pod lights. And that will work nice. So what I want to do, just to see what it looks like, is create a column of lava somewhere in here. And looking at it, I was finding the diagonal lines for this center water thing, and realized that this guy is on that diagonal. And then if we head up here, that sort of dead ends into there where we've never been. The portal is not on a center line, so we can't put it like next to that necessarily. So this diagonal line extends to here. I'm thinking we might try it right here. We might try it right here. This is where the rail lines were gonna start, but we don't need to do that. We can move them. And we've interrupted it already. The old path up to there was actually right there. Yeah, so this is part of the space where we can convert stuff. We're gonna have to fix that rail line anyway. So I think that's what we're gonna do. I hope I have lava. Well, I mean, I've got a giant sea of it, but I don't want to use that for source blocks. I hope I have lava buckets in here, because if I don't, oh yeah, I got plenty. I don't have any idea where I would go to get lava source blocks, because I haven't gone mining in so long. I guess we might have to go exploring to try to find a lava pool for source blocks. If we start using lava a lot in the base as a lighting element, which would be nice to help get rid... What am I doing? I can shift click in this patch. It'd be nice to get rid of the lava, or the torch, so many torches, and use lava as a alternate lighting. Use more slabs and stuff so monsters can't spawn. Yeah, okay, let's dig something out here and see if it looks cool. Man, my aim is terrible. Okay, anyway, I decided to try the first one there. I didn't dig out the whole thing, because we're just trying it out to see what it looks like. Let's use 2 lava buckets. And this is just sort of a proof of concept. What's it going to look like? Will it look cool? Will it look like it fits? Will it look out of place? Okay, there we go. That should spread to all the available... Is there an open... Yeah, there's an open space. Okay, so that should spread. We can watch it go down. Watch the lovely lava spread, and I hope it looks good. Because it looks really good in the Patch Museum. Maybe we need to update some of the rooftop stuff like the Patch Museum has. Maybe that would look good. Now it might even help us extend this stuff downwards. What do you think? I think maybe that is not quite the right spot, but I think we're on the right track. Yeah, that's not the right spot, but that's the right track. We're headed in the right direction, I feel, with the overall base. Next time, we're gonna make a really cool, crazy wheat farm. It's not gonna be that crazy. It's just gonna be really cool the way it looks. And we're gonna also do quite a bit of this stuff to really change the way this works as well. And we're gonna need some TNT, I think, because I gotta dig a whole bunch of stuff. And using a pick without enchantments, that's just too slow. Anyway, I think that's it for this episode. Did a lot of tinkering and a little bit of a world tour. We'll see you next time. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave your feedback below, comments, questions, what you had for breakfast. Was it eggs, or was it bacon, or was it both? What kind of hot sauce did you use? See you later. Bye-bye.